Hi everyone, I wanted to make a really quick video about empathy, about stepping into other people's shoes before reacting. I had an experience this evening where I got upset at somebody who I felt had offended me, and it wasn't their intention to offend me, and I knew deep down that I didn't really feel offended, if that makes sense. But sometimes things can catch you off guard if you're feeling, if you've maybe had a bit of a rubbish day, if you're feeling exhausted, which I am this evening, feeling absolutely exhausted. And I know myself well enough now to know that when I'm exhausted, I'm vulnerable to stuff. So it seems like 3 or 4 things can pile on when it's almost like the door's open, and it's all going to come in. So I had this situation where, somebody who has my best interests at heart had said something, and maybe they didn't word it in the best way, or maybe, it just is what it is. It was worded in a certain way. And I took it as a judgment. It felt like a judgment. It felt very upsetting. And even though I knew it wasn't that person's intention to upset me, I was assertive, and I stood my ground, and I said, I don't really appreciate, this being said to me. And I didn't massively overreact. I didn't scream and shout. I didn't get overly emotional, but I felt very, very hurt. But I did have this awareness, so there was this corner of my brain that was aware that this situation isn't quite how you feel it is, So because I knew I was exhausted, I knew I'd had a few bad things happen today, had some frustrations, had some tears, and so it's almost like what you have to do is step into that other person's shoes, and the quicker you can do that, the better. If you can override that, it's funny, you can still have the reaction, you can still have the response, you can still feel hurt or still feel, judged, or however it is you feel, you can still feel that way and allow it, but if you can try and step into that person's shoes and understand where they were coming from and what they were trying to say, and that they're a different person to you, and that they were just trying to help, and they've caught you at, a vulnerable moment, and you've taken it slightly the wrong way, and then because of the mood that you're in at the time, it's felt very upsetting. If you can take all that stuff into account and try and step into that person's shoes and override those feelings that you're having, that deep upset, or that distress, that frustration, that judgment, that hurt, feeling like you're being attacked, all that kind of thing is really hard to just switch off. But you can override it and kind of ride the wave, if that makes sense. You kind of ride the wave, and then those feelings are going to calm down. So the quicker you can step into someone else's shoes, the better. If you know that that person means well, you know that that person is trying to help you, even if what they've said didn't sound very nice, even if what they've said was really hurtful, if you can get to the meaning behind why they said what they said, if you can get to the meaning behind what they were trying to do and the message they were trying to convey, then you can move through the situation much, much quicker. And it was interesting because I was feeling upset, and I spoke to somebody about it who knows me pretty well, and that second person basically said, well, look at this another way. This person has said something, but it has no impact on you. It has no impact on your life. It need not have anything to do with what you're doing. It need not affect you in any way. That person has said a thing, and maybe you can find a way of flipping it around, and it is what it is. So getting a point of view from a second person did help, and it kind of made something snap in my head where I thought, yeah, that person was just trying to help, and they were, you know, and when they realised it upset me, they were apologetic because it wasn't their intention, and I knew it wasn't their intention. But I, you know, so because of having that point of view from the second person and them giving me a bit of perspective on it, I was then able to go back and respond to the first person and say, look, I do understand you didn't mean to upset me. I do understand you didn't mean to, you know, judge or make me feel a certain way. You know, I do understand, but this is the journey I'm on, and you know, I will be getting on with doing the things that are best for me. So it was just a really quick video, just to talk about empathy and perspective, and just to be aware that, you know, we're all different people, and sometimes we say things and it comes across in the wrong way. And I don't like to say the wrong way, but it can come across in it can be received in a different way to how it was sent. I learned something about communication recently, where it basically said it doesn't matter what you say, it doesn't matter what you're trying to convey, the message is what's received. So communication is about what is received, it's not about what's given. If you're trying to say something and it's being received in a completely different way, it's being completely misunderstood, then you need to try and find a different way of saying what you're saying, because it's not being received in the way that you're, you know, that you're meaning it to be received. So just something to think about, just a really quick video. And let me know if my videos have helped. Pop me a comment in the comments box if you've been in a situation recently where you've said something that was taken the wrong way, or if somebody said something to you that you took the wrong way, but you maybe had an awareness that it just wasn't the best day for you to hear that thing, you know. So it's just good to have that awareness of where we are emotionally at the time, and to kind of appreciate the sentiment of what someone is saying, even if we don't agree, even if it hurts us at the time. It's always good, if we can, to appreciate what that person was trying to do, and that they were trying to maybe help us. So cheers everybody, thanks for watching, and I will catch you soon in another video.